Okay, thanks very much for coming along this afternoon now?
Yeah.
Yep, this afternoon. Look, we're here today to invite Western Australians to come to what is an extremely rare opportunity to be able to pay their respects in person to an iconic Western Australian, a member of the greatest generation that fought against tyranny on our behalf and collectively represents that collective group of people who ensured that we are able to enjoy the benefits of a wonderful society we do today. Arthur's passing was inevitable, but he lasted an incredibly long time and served, post his service in the military, served to ensure that the memory of his comrades remained at the forefront of people's minds. It's now an opportunity for all of us to demonstrate our respect to Arthur when the military state funeral is conducted on Saturday morning. I would urge people to come into the city, bring your children, bring your grandchildren, let them see in person what respect is rightly afforded to the people who allowed us to have the society we have today. I would ask that people try to get into the city by 9:30. The funeral cortege will form up here in Parliament Place and slow march down St George's Terrace, and people can witness it from either side of St George's Terrace, and it will be going all the way to St George's Cathedral in the centre of the city. But there will be an opportunity for people to join in the funeral cortege. As it passes Mill Street, people will be able to join respectfully behind the funeral cortege and follow in the wake of it all the way to the cathedral. I've got to say that I've given notice that people won't be able to access the funeral inside the cathedral unless they've been formally invited, because it's just only it's limited in capacity. However, there will be opportunity on big screens to witness the proceedings of the funeral service outside the cathedral. So we're saying this is really a very rare opportunity. It's not only a state funeral, it's a military state funeral. The army will be there in force. There'll be a parade consisting of a guard of military from Arthur's unit, or the inheritors of Arthur's unit, and others from 13 Brigade. There'll also be a riderless police horse at the front of the parade, in affording that respect and that acknowledgement of the passing of a great soldier. I'm going to ask, we've got Damien, the 13 Brigade Commander, is here. He can give you some words, and then we've got Sue, who will speak on behalf of the family. But I'd just like to finally urge anyone who can, any Western Australian who can, we must remember what we have inherited, remember what we've benefited from, and this is an opportunity to demonstrate respect firsthand at Arthur's funeral. Brigadier.
Thanks, Minister, and thanks, Arthur's family. Look, I just want to echo the comments made by the Minister about the significance of this event, and it would be great to see as many people to attend the event in the whole variety of forms, both on the route itself, but also the live stream event we've got. For Army, this is significant. This is, as the Minister said, this is a military state funeral. We've got approximately 100 soldiers that are involved in that are from my brigade, the 13th Brigade, which is the West Australian Brigade, and in particular officers and soldiers from the 11th 28th Battalion, which had a very strong connection with Arthur. As the Minister said, Arthur's contribution not only in war was significant, but I'd like to add that it was even more significant post-war, and the contribution that he's made to the ex-service community cannot be measured in words. But your attendance will enable us to acknowledge his service, acknowledge the work that he has done in regards to veterans support, in particular in 1128, and that we can do that in a very appropriate and a very dignified manner. So I look forward to seeing as many people there on Saturday. Thanks, Minister, and thanks, family.
Sorry, just before you step up, would you mind saying your personal officer and title, please?
Yeah. Brigadier Damien Bushell, Commander 13 Brigade.
Just drop these mics quickly.
Remember, stand right up, please.
No offence, sorry.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Sue Ma, and I'm Arthur's youngest daughter. This is all my family, my sister Maureen, my daughter Julie, my great-nephew Dylan, my nephew Darren, and my other nephew Mark. So, yeah. We'd like to take this opportunity to certainly thank everybody for what they're doing for our dad and our granddad. Please, if you can, come into the city. I think it's so important that children understand what people did for us so that we can live the life that we live now. The freedom we have is amazing. When you hear the stories of what some of these older generation went through, man, they were tough people. They were wonderful, strong men. We would like to thank the state most definitely for allowing this state funeral to happen. I'm just kind of like sad that Dad's not here to see all the fuss, but anyway, never mind, I'm sure he is in spirit. And thank you all very much.
So, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Sure.
What do you think your dad would think about this on Saturday?
He would say, what's all this pomp and ceremony? I was just a simple man. But yeah, it's wonderful.
He was a remarkable man.
He was a remarkable man, but to us he was just our dad doing what he does. Yes, and I'm amazed at how many lives he's actually touched through the years, the messages and the condolences that the family have received from people that we haven't heard from in a very long time or didn't even know Dad was involved in something with them. So yeah, it's very special, very special.
To see his legacy carried out.
Well, I know that the men of the family will obviously be in the Anzac Parade and keep that spirit alive. We're all going to get some miniature medals made, so we have those to wear on the special occasions. Yeah, pretty much just keep going like he was. We're still very involved with Mount Lawley Senior High School and what they're doing as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and do anyway.
We saw you receive something before. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That was a medal from Brigadier. Maybe you'd be better off to fill a bit on what it's all about, because I've kind of like forgotten already. Sorry.
Sure. Look, I had a really good opportunity to present to the family on behalf of the officers and soldiers in 13 Brigade is a challenge coin. The challenge coin just represents the significance of Arthur's service, and it's just that acknowledgement of that service, and I'd like to hand that over as a memento to the family as a keepsake for the future.
Beautiful.
So what does that mean to you to have someone like this,
It's just very, very overwhelming at the moment. It's so special. Dad's got quite a few memorabilia things, mainly from the Greek Society and so forth, so this will go in with the rest of them for the rest of our family or for anybody who wants to see them. Yeah.
family heirlooms?
Yes, family heirlooms, yeah. Yeah, that's it. So it's absolutely lovely, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So what was your dad like as a dad? We've heard a lot about his life in war and what he did for the community, but what was he like as a dad to you?
Very gentle, very humble man. Always into something, either riding a push bike, a motorbike, running, canoeing, surf caddying. All the kids will tell you back in the younger days, the Swan River, that was where he always was in his surf cat. Yes, he was a hard-working man, but a very humble man as well. Just, as I say, plodding along, doing his own thing, and yeah. great dad, very loving and been fantastic to all the grandchildren, trying to teach them also about Anzac Day and how important it is to keep this going. Definitely, yeah.
You must be thrilled that his life is going to be celebrated like this.
Oh, just, yeah, it's something you kind of like dream of, you know, like we're so blessed to have all this. It's here in history now for our great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Did Arthur speak much about what he endured and what he went through?
No, not a lot. Once he wrote his book, he did start to talk a little bit more, mainly because he realised that it is history and it is important that people know what he endured and also his mates. Yeah. Yes.
Minister, can I ask you a bit about state funerals, if that's all right?
Yeah, okay.
So we know state funerals aren't all that common, but when was the last time we saw a military state funeral?
In Western Australia, I'm not sure. Do you know, Brigadier?
Minister, I believe it was approximately 60 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the last
Doesn't
time
have
that we
a
had a military state funeral, so this is a rare event.
We've had them in the recent times for footballers and the like, but this is, very unusual. The fact is, there are no more Anzacs, and the sons and daughters of the Anzacs are leaving us rapidly, and so it's up to all of us to keep that memory alive and keep that legacy going, and this is an opportunity for everyone to come along and pay their respects in person.
We all know Arthur was an incredible man. The facts alone state that. But what qualifies you for a military funeral?
I don't think that there's not actually a specific requirement or criteria. Undeniably, Arthur was absolutely worthy of a state funeral, and there was no question of that being offered. And we're just actually got to Sue thank the state. I think we've got to actually thank the family for allowing the state and the public and the rest of us to mourn along with them and acknowledge the passing of a great man.
Potentially a once-in-a-lifetime event, the military state funeral.
60 years. Very, very possibly the only time you might get to see one of these. It's certainly the only time we get to farewell someone of this stature from the Second World War.
Can I just ask the story of the West today?
You guys might want to clear out.
Yeah, sorry.
This is not about Arthur now.
Oh, right,
You changed things.
Yeah, you don't want to be standing.
We just asked the story of the West today. What's your response to the state of the war graves at Karrakata?
Oh, okay. So, Commonwealth War Graves Office is responsible for Commonwealth War Graves, and that is essentially their responsibility. So we don't really have a role in it.
What do you think of it personally, though? Is it satisfactory?
Well, it's I'm concerned about some of the or one of the stories in particular, but the truth is that the actual Commonwealth War Graves site at Karrakata would never accommodate all of our soldiers that served in not just the First World War but all subsequent wars. So that is a challenge that they're going to confront. But ultimately, the way it's dealt with is Office of Commonwealth War Graves responsibility, and it's done in conjunction with families if they decide to in turn move anybody or move the headstones.
What was the one story or one issue which you were concerned about?
Just the suggestion that there was a bin adjacent to a site. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that aside, ultimately, they confront a challenge. There's never going to be enough space to accommodate all soldiers who served. The Commonwealth War Graves generally, it's people who've died in war, and there is an extended period after, and that's why Commonwealth War Graves is responsible for determining whether or not people are afforded that opportunity, because it extends beyond war as well, but it's not a state government responsibility.
So is there nothing the state government can do? Is that what you're saying? It's out of your hands?
Well, it's not our responsibility. Ultimately, it is rightly the Office of Commonwealth War Graves who are responsible for determining how people how graves are managed and who is interned inside Commonwealth War Graves.
The trial of the murder of Cassius Turvey, the verdicts were delivered today. We've got 2 guilty murder convictions. What's your response to that?
I'd rather not reflect on them. I'd reflect on my thoughts being with Michelle right now and her family, and on Cassius and what we lost at the time of his death. It's very sad.
One last thing, Minister. What's your response to the Western Bears new rugby team?
I like rugby league, but I like all sports, and like most West Australians actually, I'm up for the opportunity to be parochial and back in a Western Australian side, so I'm looking forward to it.